Hey, but Ancient Beast, welcome back to my channel. My name is Scottyallenday. Have you ever wondered how podcasts exploded in popularity over the recent years? How to become a thing? If podcasts didn't make it, would there be nothing? With live streaming so popular, why do podcasts exist? So we're gonna talk a little bit today about podcasts and why they've become so popular and why they're still in mainstream social media. I got to thinking a little bit about it because, I was listening on the radio, and that's pretty much what a podcast is basically radio that somebody has done in the comfort of their own home or their studio. So with radio, a podcast has always been extremely popular, with talk show hosts interviewing celebrities, that sort of thing. And that's basically what a podcast is. Now, since I've mentioned that, that's pretty much how a podcast exploded in popularity. And with the retirement of some of the greatest, I would say, talk radio hosts basically retiring, is when those individuals went off the air. People were looking for another fix of the talk radio. Half of the talk radio was done on AM. A couple of them was done on Sirius radio, and you had popular talk show hosts like Howie Carr, Rush Limbaugh, Howard Stern, Dr. Laura Schlotzinger. I don't know if any of those are still back on talk radio. I would probably have to do some research to be able to find out. Now, Howie Carr and Rush Limbaugh were always 99% political. Howard Stern was a shock jock. He would talk about anything and everything, and he was basically unrated. He was like the R-rated superstar. Dr. Laura was very, I would probably say, conservative, and could be able to talk some sense into you. And now, basically, to give you a little example about talk radio, is 99% of them would have a huge show, and they would talk about current events. Dr. Laura was like somebody called in with a question or a problem, and then she would basically have them figure it out themselves on radio with her beliefs, doing it her way. If she didn't get her way, it was the highway, and you were done, you were gone. Now, podcasts, you either see a live podcast or you see a recorded podcast, or you just have a radio version podcast. Either way, you're still getting talk radio. Now comes the question: is why did it get so popular so fast? Well, the thing is growing up in everywhere. Since the dawn of radio, you've always had entertainment on the radio. You had Roy Rogers. You had the Lone Ranger series. Most of it was all talked and acted out, and they used props to be able to make the sounds and the noises, and that was it. That was talk radio. You listened to the news on the radio. Everything was done on the radio until, well, the boob tube came out, the silver screen came out, the television came out. So throughout the course of that, a lot of people, when TV came out, that radio, everybody thinks it would have been obsolete, but it's not. It wasn't. It never became obsolete. Radio kept their fans going. Now, with the way radio kept on going with their fans, you also heard it in the car. You heard the radio in the car. You heard the radio in the house. Now, a lot of us that are older remember Grandma and Grandpa's house, and yeah, it would have talk radio on. And or you're in Grandma and Grandpa's car, and they would have talk radio going. And you ended up with the next generation, and they all listened to it, and they said, oh, no, we're going to listen to music, and that's what... And all of a sudden, they start listening to talk radio again. So, you know, that's a huge thing when... my headliner's still falling off. That's a huge thing when talk radio becomes a big fixture in your life, because some of the shows I really enjoyed, and I hated talk radio. I thought talk radio was boring. But then all of a sudden somebody turned on a couple of shows with Rush Limbaugh, and a couple of shows with Howie Carr, and a couple of talk shows with Dr. Laura. And all of a sudden I listened to Dr. Laura for a long time. And Dr. Phil also had a talk show on radio. And I listened to Howard Stern. Oh, geez, I think it was half of my roadie days we listened to Howard Stern. He was, I would say, liked by just about every rock and roll superstar that was out there. There was a couple of them that absolutely hated his guts. But when it came to rock and roll and Howard Stern, it was two peas in a pod. It was unbelievable. He put on a good show, and he also introduced many shows. I think he actually hosted an MTV Awards. But as far as somebody, I mean, he started off on the original America's Got Talent, and he knew the industry. All of them knew the industry. And once they all started getting off the air, everybody that was addicted to what they were talking about on the radio, and to be able to talk some sense into people, disappeared. And the thing is, it's not there anymore either. So just about finishing up the rest of these questions. So the popularity of podcasting actually started early on with Ray William Johnson and Equals 3. Ray William Johnson used to host a show that was similar to America's Funniest Home Videos, and then he went off to do his podcasting with his podcasting. I think his channel is still up with Equals 3. And when he went off to start doing podcasts and he started pushing podcasts, a lot of people started following suit. It started going viral in the entertainment industry. But now that most of these, I would say, conservative, mid-level, mid-range talk show hosts, there were some liberal talk show hosts, but just about enough people that was in talk radio was able to keep the divide between liberals and conservatives very small. They were able to get people to see both sides of the playing field. But then, all of a sudden, they're gone, and there's nobody to level the playing field. So until there's a good, strong talk show host style for a podcast, we don't know when it's going to end. So, I just wanted to bring something up a little bit fun about podcasting. I've listened to several podcasts. There's some podcasts out there that are very humorous, and there's some podcasts out there that don't make any sense at all. So, what do you guys think of this type of social media? Do you guys ever listen to a podcast? If you like podcasts, who do you listen to? What kind of a podcast? What type of podcast do you listen to? So let me know that in the comment section below. If you're new here, hit that comment section, hit that notification bar so you don't bell so you don't miss another video. And until next time, keep on walking.